We're going to start just with the sound of our ball. Very nice. And then slowly we're going to laying down in our backs, bending the knees, and feel your spine coming down into the ground. Take a nice deep breath through your nose. And then as you exhale, you're going to bring the right ankle on top of the left knee. So this is a reclined pigeon pose. Today we're emphasizing and paying attention to our hips. Notice your breath going through your ribs and soothing your brain. If this is enough, stretching and opening of the right hip, stay here. Otherwise, you can intensify the pose by elevating the left foot off the ground and then bringing those arms and hands to hold the left shin bone. And I invite you to close your eyes. Start to feel the weight of those bones on top of the front of your body. As you inhale, feel the fluidity of the new creation, as today we have a new moon. So the new moon is when it's in conjunction with the sun, so we cannot see the moon from the earth. Just like when we start something new. Maybe this is your first yin yoga class. And just be patient. We hold the poses for a certain period of time. So we can allow not just the muscles, but those ligaments. With every breath that you take, I invite you to feel the shoulders melting into the ground, into this sacred place that you have created. Good. Just relax here as you're holding, as you're breathing, as you have a sensation. One of the main components in a yin yoga class is to find stillness. So try not to move at all. Just allow the breath to flow. Allow the connective tissue of the right hip to be open. Notice how wonderful it is that we are all connected here, each one in their own homes, but we are together with our breath. Take one more breath here. This breath is an indicator that very soon we're going to change positions. Exhale, open those arms wide open, and then twist towards the left side. So twist towards the left side. Keep those legs the way they are. Go towards the left. Left side. Very nice. That's it. Breathe in. Allow those shoulders to relax into the ground. And see if you drops of happiness. Because we were born to be happy. That we may forget. Emotions get in our way. So with every exhalation, allow yourself to find that natural joy within you. Face is relaxed. And you feel that stretch lateral side of the right leg. Breathe in calmness. Exhale tranquility. Even though we cannot see the new moon, we know it's there. Take one more breath. Yeah, sometimes a yin class is a little more difficult as we're holding the poses. It is after a long period of time that we truly let go of resistance. That's the reason of holding the poses longer. Inhaling and slowly returning back center, very carefully, very mindfully. And then release both feet down. Inhaling, bring those arms up and over your head. Feel a nice, beautiful stretch. Notice how there is a tendency of the lower back to come off the ground. Try to bring it down. And then let us come into a happy baby. So you bend the knees, elevate those feet, and maybe catch for your toes. Or you can catch the back of your knees or your ankles. You can even go to a wall and have your feet be nearby the wall. Good. Let's have movement in this happy baby. So rock from one side to another. Maybe thinking and feeling in your heart the lullaby of Rockabye Baby in the treetop. Feel the wind blowing and you're happy with whatever direction you're going. Keep moving very slowly, very gentle, just like a newborn. Nice. Now let's return back center and find a stillness. A great sign of relaxation is to be able to close your eyes. So just listen to the guidance of my voice and the rhythmic of your heart. In this 9th of September, in a new moon. So both hips are externally rotating. They are suspended on the air, so feel that element. Breathe in with calmness. And exhale with happiness. Very nice. Take your last breath here, telling those happy hips that now it's going to be time to change. Exhale, release the bind. Plant the soles of the feet to the outside of your mat a little, and then bring the knees leaning towards each other in the middle. Yes, very nice. And then open your arms in a cactus position. If you need to walk your feet a little closer so the knees are really leaning towards each other, please feel free to do so. Take a moment to feel the openness of your heart. Feel the pelvis finding its place here in life. With your next inhalation, relax those fingers in your hands. And pay attention to the breath that is traveling through both nostrils. Imagine that one of your knees is like the Pisa Tower that is leaning. But then another tower is there to sustain it. And that is exactly the function in our body. All the different systems, the cardiovascular, the respiratory, they help and support each other. So with gratitude, let your breath be a nice wave of thanksgiving. There is a phrase by Sadhguru that joy is a natural phenomenon. Misery is our own creation. See if you can notice the breath through your shoulder blades. Take a nice deep breath to indicate the body that we're going to move to the next pose. Exhaling and slowly release those cactus arms. Feel the circulation. And then walking the right foot a little more in and bending the left knee out as you bring that left ankle on top of the right knee for our pigeon pose on the other side. Very good. This is stage number 1. Stage number 2 is to elevate that right foot. Hold with your arms the shin bone or the back of the right leg. Very nice. So find that depth. That's the first element in a yin yoga class. Find the meaning in your life. Now that you have arrived to the pose, just let it transform you. Use the breath as a mirror, as an indication of what's going on your mind. If you have done yoga in a more regular basis, you know that this reclined pigeon is a beautiful variation. It's a gentle hip opener. You're supported on your back. And it does not bring any pressure into the knees like the traditional pigeon does. So take a nice breath in for the new moon outside through our windows. Take this cycle of breath to help you realize if there is any tension in any part of your body. Tiny muscles in the face or large ligaments like the left hip. Beautiful. Feel the calmness in your soul. And with your next inhalation, I invite you, if you have your arms holding that leg, to open those arms in a letter T or in a crucifixion form. Exhale and start twisting towards the right side. Slowly. Very nice. Let the pull of gravity help to go deep into the expression that you can hold today and maintaining a nice flowing breath. One of the physiological differences between males and females is the size of the hips. We women have them wider. One of the reasons is to be able to give birth. To allow your breath to dissolve any emotions that are trapped, especially on that left side of the hip. Maybe you can even feel your breath in the rib cage section. So the three pillars or the three elements in a yin yoga class are to find your depth, which we are already in our depth. And the second is to be still, just like a flower outside in a garden. Find the contemplation within. And the last, third component, you got it. Yes, is to hold the pose for a longer period of time. feel the sweetness, the stretch, the decompression underneath the skin, the muscles. Let us take a nice, gigantic breath to symbolizing that it's time to say goodbye to this pose. And let it be like that. Inhaling, returning back center carefully. Exhaling, release both feet down into the ground. Walking your feet and allow the knees to lean towards the center. Inhale, the arms reach up over your head just for a moment. So you can find it in your day tomorrow. And exhaling, cactus arms. But this time we're going to do a medial rotation. So let the palms and from the elbows flip downward towards the front. Maybe the palms touch the floor, maybe not. It all depends on our bones. Feel those liquids, those fluids in our body. Not just water, but blood and bile. Let your breath be calm and to be renewed like this new moonlight. Let us relax the shoulders as we feel the internal rotation of both hips. Your lips are soft. And every cell in you has the imprint of happiness within. Take one more breath here. And exhaling slowly. Start to extend those arms in front of you. Start to allow the knees to go this time out. External rotation as the soles of the feet come together. And then use those muscles to come into a seated position. If you have a block or if you want to be on one of your blankets to elevate the hips, this is a good way. So I'm going to use one of my blankets. I'm going to sit there to elevate my hips. Or I can also bring the blanket underneath my knees. Or if you have a block, you can do that. So this is a butterfly pose. We're going to have it with the spine upright. Very good. It takes time to arrive into a pose. So take your time. You can have pillows and cushions. Very good. Allow your spine to be upright. And just notice the breath flowing. I invite you to visualize in this moment the outside of your legs, long side of your legs. Just like if you were wearing jeans and there is a seam on the outside. Inside of our bodies and in the legs, we have two meridians that run alongside. The gallbladder and the urinary bladder. Raise your spine upright and allow those meridians to be free of obstacles. So life force can run through them. Relax your cheeks. And then I invite you to imagine your spinal cord in the midsection on your back. It's vertical. It runs from the coccyx all the way below your head. And along on the right side, there is another line, and on the left, there is another. In the yoga philosophy, one is called Ida, and the other Pingala. But instead of just running upright in a straight line, they start to make like a number 8 figure by moving, turning, and then they intertwine with the spine at certain points. So notice it starting there at the coccyx, the two of them, one on the right, one on the left. They make like a semicircle out, and then they come and have a conjunction behind your sexual organs. And again, they find their way out, and again, they blend together behind your solar plexus. Feel the playfulness of these energetic lines. One more time, and then they are in conjunction behind your heart. And again, behind your throat. And they continue ascending, being in the pituitary and pineal gland, the location between your third eye, between your two eyebrows. And there is a beautiful channel at the top of your head where you invite the cosmic energy to come and abide in you. And the nadis of the Ida and Pingala are ending at the nostrils. One ends on the right nostril, the other on the left. Notice the similarities as we are here in this pose of the butterfly. activating those meridians of the gallbladder and urinary bladder. And imagine a tiny butterfly multiplying into Ida and Pingala and start their journey. And every time they intertwine, it's a flower where they're both taking their nectar and keep ascending behind the sexual organ, behind the solar plexus, behind the heart, center of your throat, the third eye. And then those butterflies end getting out of your nostrils, and that's your exhalation. Take a nice deep breath and exhaling. Notice the clarity of the moon, the lights of the moon, those rays of light coming from the top of your head. We too, as a butterfly, we are in constant transformation. So don't get too attached to objects, to titles, to people. All is changing. And one proof of that, inhaling, say goodbye to this pose. Exhaling, very gentle. We're going to remove the blanket, the blocks, and this time we're going to open those legs wide open. Maybe this time the blanket or the pillows are going to be in front of us, making a straight line so our body can rest there. Maybe your forehead, you elevate a little more, a blanket. Very good. Find your own way. Find your depth, because the depth is very important. That's it. We're giving a beautiful massage here once you arrive to our ovaries. Yes, that's it. So here we're combining two joints, the hips and the spine. Decompress with every breath what no longer serves you. Feel that reproduction organ being healthy, working properly, whether we are in the first, we are starting menopause, or we're at the end of menopause. It is a healthy organ with a perfect amount of hormone. Breathe in and out. And notice how also the depth changes. Physically, spiritually, and psychologically speaking. Now notice how the light of the moon is coming through your spine, on the back. Releasing those emotions that are trapped in the hips. Especially those emotions of not knowing how to deal with difficult situations. Notice if you can feel your breath here, touching, brushing the blankets or the pillows, what is underneath your chest. Allow the breath to be in those sensations, to bring lubrication and stimulation. Knowing that the Buddha said that there is no path to happiness. Happiness is a path. Take your last peaceful breath here. And then slowly incorporating yourself little by little, gentle, very gentle, very good. Maybe a good way is to roll the shoulders back and then moving your head from one side and another. Good. And then we're going to start doing our next pose, which is called deer. So you're going to bend the right knee in external rotation and the left knee in an internal rotation. So perhaps the right sole of the foot is touching the inside of that thigh. And then I'm going to bring my blankets next to my right hip in a diagonal line. Take a nice deep breath as your chest is facing the front first. And exhaling slowly, we're going to start twisting towards the right side, towards the direction of the blankets. If they're too far away from us, you can bring them a little closer. Taking a nice breath, just like a deer in the middle of the forest. It uses all its senses to be clear of enemies. And when you're ready, slowly start to folding over those blankets. Maybe your chest can come out and you can bring one blanket on top of the other, and then you're there. Maybe resting your head. And start to notice how this is a balanced way to rotate the hips. One of the benefits of this pose is to reduce symptoms of menopause. Our gallbladder meridian is activated here. Breathe with contentment. Let go, relax. No more holding. gallbladder is a tiny organ that is just below the liver and is responsible for what is exact and just. Physiologically speaking, it receives only pure liquid from the liver, and that we call it bile. In Chinese medicine, the organs are divided in two categories, yin and yang. And the gallbladder is a yang organ, but it is the only yang organ that does not transport impure waste. That's why it gets a nice nickname, the curious organ. It transports the bile into the intestine so it can digest the fat. And the intestine sends a signal. So allow your brain to send the signal to relax more, maybe relaxing your shoulders. Hopefully your head is resting on the blankets or your pillows or on a block. Because usually the head weighs 8 pounds. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in joy. Breathe out loss. Take your last breath here and tenderly, with elegance, just like the nice invisible moon tonight, coming out of this pose. Very gentle. That's it. We're going to do a counter pose. So we're going to bring those feet in front of us, hands back behind for support. And only when you're ready, we're going to move from one side to another. You may hear some sounds of the bones releasing gases. So your body, in a way, is science. Yes, very nice. Let's do one more round to each side. Good. And now let's do deer to the other side. So the left knee is going to have an external rotation and the right knee an internal rotation. Try to have both hips square and then invite those blankets to be now near your left hips and diagonal. When you're ready, take a nice breath in and exhale and start your twist. Notice how one side is different from the other. Take another breath. Notice the balance. The left hip is opening out, the right hip is in, and then slowly it starts to come down. Very slowly, very tenderly. Feeling how a deer symbolizes a connection to magic in fairy tales and has a flavor of supernatural. In one of the epic literature of India, the Ramana, there is a story of the king Rama with a wife, Sita. And they're happy. But there is one man, one evil person that wants to steal Sita from her husband. And in order to seduce her, he finds a way to convince a Marichi to be transformed into a deer, a very elegant, a beautiful, graceful deer, just like you right now. This evil person was going to kill the Marichi if he didn't want to help him. So he decided to transform into that deer. And while he was in the forest, Sita saw him and got enchanted and told the husband, I want that deer. So try to dissolve all those desires that may not bring you true happiness. See if you can relax the right shoulder. Feel your breath gracefully in connection to the divine, to the supernatural energy. And the story ends that indeed she was seduced by this deer that just took that form, and that's how this evil person was able to kidnap her. Take a nice deep breath. Relax a little more. And promise to yourself to use all those qualities that you have to do good, not evil. We have been in our depth. We have been in a stillness. And we have held this pose for a long time. So now I invite you to take a nice, cautious breath. Filling up your hips and exhaling. Know that now it's time to lift up the torso and twist. Sometimes we feel so fragile that we're going to get broken. It's because those connective tissues got a nice stretch. Good. And again, we can find that counter pose. When you have your palms behind and you move your knees from one side to another, very nice. And then, once you're ready, you can prepare those blankets behind you on your spine. So we can add heart opening as you lay down there, and also keeping a butterfly. If you need an extra block to release your head, the arms could be open. And notice that elevation from the back of your heart. Because if we are in an airplane and we look down at the earth, we won't be able to see the political divisions, but we will be able to see its physical features, the hills and the valleys. So feel that elevation of your heart towards the moonlight. And surrender as your hips are releasing the sadness, the depression, the frustration. Let it all be transformed into love. Because George Sand says that there is only one happiness in life: to love and to be loved. Feel that love coming from the cosmic, from the universe, all the way towards your heart. As you take a nice deep breath, with that support on your heart, feel that infinite spring of love spreading outward towards humanity, to our president, to the leaders of other countries, to the widows, to those people that feel lonely at this moment. Send that love. Send that happiness. Every cell in our bodies are in a higher vibration. We find that essence in our hips, that we are born to be happy and healthy. And with our actions, we motivate, we encourage others to do so. Take 3 deep breaths. Every breath is a wave that you send to somebody. You can name that person or to a group of people. maybe to the future generations in your lineage. Very nice, very expanding, very stretching. So notice how here today we were stretching not only the hips, but our love towards the entire earth. And then as you inhaling, close those knees and then roll to the left side, very gentle. So now you're going to leave those blankets there behind and you come into a fetus position. Take a nice deep breath through your nose. Exhaling. For your next inhalation with your right arm, reach for behind so you can remove that blanket or pillow or blankets, whatever help you as a support. So then you can roll back again and there's no obstacles and you are on your back for Shavasana. If you need one blanket as a pillow, if you want to have the other blanket to cover your cold body, please feel free to do so. Breathe in as you come into this sacred pose. This pose also fulfills the requirement of the 3 pillars. Allow the back of the cranium. Connect down in deeper levels of Mother Earth. Noticing that those elements of magnesium, zinc, copper, what is down there in the center of the earth is inside us as well. Now allow the shoulder blades to absorb the prana from underneath. Notice the back of your hips, just like a vessel, resting in this altar of your mat. Notice the warm fire that comes from that deep crust inside the earth. Into your solar plexus. And notice the back of your legs. Gently, just pressing on the floor. The back of your body, you are rooted. Now notice on the front of your body. Notice your radiance, your joy and happiness. as you are open to the cosmos, to the unknown. Taking a bath from the new moon. Keep your breath flowing. You have found your depth. Notice how, for the ones that are still, the entire universe surrounds you. Notice the harmony on the right hemisphere of the brain and the left side. Just like the imaginary line on the earth, the prime meridian. Feel all those meridians that we stimulated today in our yin yoga class. Happy, joyful. And when you're ready, I invite you to start being aware of your breath. Breathe in and breathe out. Notice the temperature of your body. And then start to bring movement into your toes. And then start to move your fingers, your hands, your wrists. And when you're ready, you can start bending those knees. Taking your time. Maybe stretching those arms in front of you. Maybe those arms go up or maybe over your head. Any movement is welcome. Allow your intuition to guide you into this starry night. And eventually, we are all going to meet into a seated position. So take your time. Feel the nice stretch. And only when you're ready, start to incorporate. Notice your mood. Notice your energy. Inhaling. Feel the happiness within you. One of the first quotes that I remember as a child and that I memorized was that happiness is not to do what you like, but it is to like what you do. So let us see if we can truly enjoy our next activities for the next 24 hours. Inhale, palms together into your heart center. Exhaling, bow your chin towards your heart, where the essence of your being has been discovered for you today, to be happy, to be joyful. From my heart to your heart, Namaste.